And where do you stand on the Biden Gaza policy in retrospect?
I think here's what's really frustrating Democrats at a high level. I think the majority of people are concerned about Israel's security, concerned about anti-Semitism, and concerned about bringing the hostages home. I don't think anyone is debating that. But when you have the highest number of child amputees per capita in Gaza, when you see the tens of thousands of children being killed, when you're seeing nowhere near as enough aid come in, and the approval rating, if you look at Democrats of what's happening, is 8%. And then you have Democratic politicians not even acknowledging it. That's where people just lose faith in elected officials that they think should be representing them and speaking their voice. And so that omission, I think, is just frustrating everyone right now.
Yeah, but what about when Biden was president and those child amputees were piling up and up and up, and Biden continued sending the aid?
The challenge is you have a president who doesn't view the Palestinian people as human. He views them as subhuman, right? He's putting out videos of him shirtless on the Gaza Strip, referring to people as referring to the property as luxury resort waterfront property when so much pain and destruction has happened there. He's proposing relocating people with a digital token that doesn't even have any real value. So I'm very pessimistic, especially from our leadership in the White House, of anything changing.
Yeah, but look, I have to say, there's not a lot of evidence that Joe Biden saw Palestinians as human either, to be honest. If you look at what he actually did as president, he never genuinely faced the suffering of Palestinians, and he never did anything to alleviate it. He continued to send the weapons again and again and again to protect Israel diplomatically, to set the stage for this. Is Trump more ghastly and more cruel? Absolutely. But sadly, I feel like when the historians look at this, they're going to see this as a bipartisan moral catastrophe, not just a Republican one.
Why is it that Democratic and Republican politicians continuously get outmaneuvered by the Israeli prime minister? Joe Biden did everything he can to support the Israeli prime minister. He bear hugged him. You remember the rhetoric that we were hearing was that they were going to give him the kind of private talking, if you will, not publicly do it because it's, you know, the big brother, little brother relationship that they love to tout. But why is it ultimately that when he did stand by the Israeli prime minister is effectively disrespecting Joe Biden by saying, you know, under Donald Trump, they would have feared him and they would not have done that?
I don't think that everyone at the table is going to agree with me on this, but I think there is a very big difference between standing by Israel, our ally, after October 7th and making sure that they were in a place to recover from what happened and what's happening today. We're in a what Jake Sullivan says in that interview, if you listen to the whole thing, is that we are in a very different position today with the condition of the adversaries to Israel than we were on October 7th. Joe Biden was never putting out videos of him shirtless on the Gaza Strip. He was never mocking the Palestinian people, and I think that is a difference.
Sorry, the Israeli defense minister said on October 9th that Israel was going to cut off all food, all water, all electricity. On October 9th, we had good reason to know that Israel would wage its assault on Gaza in this way, and Joe Biden kept the weapons going. It's not really about Netanyahu, right? It's about that we have a corrupt political system in many different ways, right? With pharmaceutical companies, with oil companies, with all kinds of companies that lead all kinds of interests that lead the Democratic Party to go contrary to its stated values. And this is the same story. Many of these politicians are getting very large amounts of money from pro-Israel donors, and it is leading them to act in ways that are fundamentally at odds with their stated values.
And when a politician finally emerges who can speak with some clarity about what he actually does believe when it comes to genocide and famine in Gaza, like Zoran Mandami, he's hugely, hugely controversial and maligned among the Democratic.